Hello students. Now we should look at the last component of the diesel power plant, that is the lubrication system. So as you are aware, in this diesel engines the piston is reciprocating in the cylinder, the crankshaft is oscillating, connecting rod is oscillating, crankshaft is rotating, and lot of rotary parts are there like push rods, camshafts. Okay, so all these parts which are moving relative to each other, they cause friction, and to reduce friction, lubrication is very essential. So in lubrication we provide oil in between the two surfaces so that there is no direct metal to metal contact which will wear out the metals. So the lubrication, earlier days, some 50-60 years back, the lubrication was simple oil, vegetable oils were used. Then subsequently monograde oils came, single grade oil like SA20, SA40. But today we have got all multi-grade oils like SA20, W40. So that multi-grade oils means, just to explain, there will be two grades. This is a multi-grade oil, basically blended oil, so that when you are starting the engine, we want the viscosity to be low so that you can crank the engine and start. And once the engine starts and heats up and all, as the temperature increases, the viscosity should also increase. Okay, but normal vegetable oils and natural oils, as the temperature increases, the viscosity decreases. So that is why in this automobile engine oils and all, they use viscosity index improvers. Okay, and they are mostly multi-grade oils. Now this lubrication system, we will see the three lubrication systems. Okay, so when this oil lubricates this engine parts, the oil also becomes hot. Please understand. So oil also becomes hot, and then the oil also has to be cleaned, and oil also has to be cooled. In when I worked in railways, I have seen in railways we have got lube oil coolers. They call it lube oil, means lubricating oil cooler. So the big coolers which will cool the lubricating oil. Then lube oil filters are also there. Lube oil filters, big filters are there like barrel shaped filters. So they will filter the oil, and coolers will cool the oil. Why I am talking about this railway engine or this Wärtsilä engine? Because these are the same engines which are used for power generation also. These engines are not only used for railroad application or marine application, but they are also used for power generation. Okay. So now let us look at the dry sump lubrication. No, this is not the dry sump. This is the dry sump lubrication system. Pressure, feeds and splash. So first we look at the splash lubrication system. In the splash lubrication system, this is very primitive, like for automobile single cylinder engines and all, very primitive. Not, I think nowadays not widely used this kind of system. Mostly used in motorcycles and earlier motorcycle single cylinder engines and all, where not much of heat was produced. Okay. So here in the dry sump, splash lubrication, very simple it is. There is a connecting rod and there is a crankshaft. So in bit there is a scoop which is provided. Scoop, like a spoon type scoop, is provided, and the sump, there is, in the engine oil sump there is oil. So when the piston is reciprocating in the cylinder and the connecting rod is oscillating and the crankshaft is rotating, this scoop will take the oil from the sump and splash it, so that the area between the piston and the cylinder, that area is lubricated. So this is known as simple as splash lubrication. I'll again repeat. There is a scoop connected between the connecting rod and the crankshaft, and this scoop will scoop the oil from the oil sump and splash it between in the cylinder liners, so that the cylinder liners are lubricated, and when the piston is moving reciprocating in the cylinder liner, it is properly lubricated. This is known as splash lubrication, and very simple lubrication system. Next comes pressure feed lubrication. This pressure feed lubrication is very common in all the engines, your car engines, truck engines, small engines and bus multi-cylinder big engines, this pressure feed lubrication system is used. So here all the components which are moving relative to each other, they are lubricated. Okay, all the components of the engine which are moving relative to each other are lubricated. You can see there is an oil sump here bottom. In the oil sump there is a strainer. Strainer means a metal wire mesh, so that it will remove the foreign materials. Okay, from the strainer it goes to the lube oil pump, and after the lube oil pump there is a oil filter. Okay, so the oil filter, this is like a very small micron filters and all. So from the oil filter the oil will go. Now you can see the oil is going to the main crankshaft journal bearings, and from the journal bearings it is again going to the connecting rod. In connecting rod also there will be hole, through and through hole, connecting rod. From there it is going to the gudgeon pin also, gudgeon pin, and you can see from the timing gears and all, it is going to the crankshaft also. It is going to the crankshaft. So not only the connecting rod is lubricated, the piston, gudgeon pin is lubricated, camshaft is lubricated, crankshaft main bearings, journal bearings, all these parts are lubricated, and there is a pressure gauge also. So there is a pressure gauge maintained, so that the driver can, in engines it is a driver, otherwise the operator in a power plant can see what is the pressure. And in big engines, basically like railway engines, I can tell, in the big engines the pressure, there is also a safety device. If the pressure falls below the set value, say 1.5 bar or 2 bar, whatever they are set, if it falls bar, then it will give an alarm. It will give an alarm, audio alarm and video alarm, and otherwise if you are not attended to, it will stop the engine, so that it will prevent the damage to the entire engine. This facility is there in all big engines. Okay, so this is a pressure feed system. We will see once again. This is a sump. You can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4 4-cylinder engine. Basically you can see the 4 crankshafts. So there is a strainer, the oil is there in the sump, and there is a strainer. From the strainer there is a pump. Okay, from pump it goes to the this pump is basically a mechanically driven pump. Then oil filter, and from oil filter there are pipes which are connected. You can see from the oil filter the pipes are connected, which go to the camshaft, which give to the main bearing, connecting rod bearings on the crankshaft, as well as to the connecting rod, as well as gudgeon pin and the cylinder. So the entire these components are lubricated by under pressure, say around 1.5 bar to 2 bar pressure. Okay, this is a pressure feed system and commonly used in automobiles and small engines as well as large engines. And the last one what we are having is a dry sump lubrication system. Now this dry sump, why it is called dry sump means, for example, you take a racing car. In a racing car the engine has to be very low, because the center of gravity of the engine vehicle should be very low. You have seen there is very little clearance, ground clearance also very little. So here what they do, the sump is kept dry. The sump is kept dry, and this lubrication, whatever oil requirement is required, that is continuously provided. You can see here, and in dry sump lubrication the sump is dry. So there is no big sump, there is a very small sump will be there. Like normal engines, you can see the sump itself is almost 6 inches to 1 feet. In my car engine also I have seen the sump itself is almost 6 to 8 inches. So that big sump is available in a small car. Whereas in these big engines there will be big sump, because in diesel engines and all, you have seen the oil sump carries around 2000 liters, 3000 liters of oil. So the big sump is there. So here what they have done, they removed the sump. There is only a small sump there, and the oil comes to from the engine due to gravity. When it falls down, the oil comes to the oil reservoir. Okay, oil system is same. From the oil reservoir there is a oil strainer which will remove the foreign particles, this carbon particles and all. Then there is a pump, and after the pump there can be a oil heater, okay, to improve the fluidity. And then there is again oil cleaning or oil filter, and there it goes to one more pump, and from the pump then the oil is cooled, and then filtered and supplied to the engine. Here please understand, this is again a sort of pressure feed system only, but there is no sump. That is why it is known as dry sump lubrication system. And this sump, whatever they are shown here, this oil reservoir. That need not be like now it is shown here. You can see it is shown below the ground level. This oil sump is shown below the ground level. Okay, so the CG of the engine is maintained very low. Vibrations will be low, and same thing as I told in especially racing cars and all, the sump will not be there. So this sump can be on the above also. So the oil comes to the oil reservoir, is pumped, heated, cleaned, then goes to the next pump. There again it is cooled, and then after filtration it is sent to the engine. Okay, so this is a dry sump lubrication system used in diesel engines basically. And the diesel supply system, like I was telling in the first discussion, like something called day tank. So you can see here again there is a diesel supply or transfer system. So there is a engine, you can see the engine, and there is a day tank, and there is a big sump. This sump is shown, underground water tank is shown, fuel tank is shown small, but it is a huge tank because it will have around 1 or 2 months of capacity of storage, and the day tank will have only 1 or 2 days of storage only. Okay, and there will be a level indicator to see the level of the oil in the day tank, and from the day tank gravity the fuel comes to the engine through the fuel filter. So this is known as diesel supply system. So in this discussion we have seen the 3 types of lubrication system, that is splash lubrication, pressure feed lubrication, and dry sump lubrication system. Okay, thank you. In the next discussion we will go take up idle power plants. Thank you.